Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Sharon Osbourne getting fired because she's friends with Piers Morgan. And, again, we've been talking a lot about cancel culture, and it's coming for people that you would not expect it to come for. Sharon Osbourne does not seem like a hate-filled, racist person.
No.
But according to the media, she is, and she needed to be fired from her show.
No, because you need to, if you don't agree with your friends, you need to never speak to them again, and cut yourself off from anybody who doesn't agree with you and Twitter. Otherwise, mostly Twitter. Otherwise, you are fair game for cancellation, and it's a load of shit. Yeah.
So Sharon Osbourne got canceled from her show. She talked to Bill Maher. Now this is coming up a lot lately with Bill Maher. He said, cancel culture is coming for the left. It's real. Bill Maher should know. He was kind of on the receiving end of it. Bill Maher has said some stuff in the past that has gotten him in trouble, but he didn't get canceled. I think current year he probably would, and I kind of wonder if he isn't doing this to kind of preemptively, stop that. But
it's getting out of hand.
We're seeing other celebrities on the left, like Sarah Silverman, who literally,
I was thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, literally stripping naked for Biden last year, and now she's coming out and saying it's gone too far.
You can never pass the purity test. She's like, no matter what, you cannot pass this ridiculous test to get, you're never good enough. It's always, you have to go further and further and further, and it's getting ridiculous.
And you're going to have a lot of people that, politically anyway are displaced. I think we're going to have a lot of entertainers that are displaced because they're not going to be welcome in Hollywood anymore because Hollywood just keeps going further and further and further left, and there are more hurdles to, we did a video earlier today where Disney flat out said they will choose a show that's more diverse over a higher quality show to fill a quota.
Which is kind of insulting because it implies that the diverse shows aren't high quality. I was like, wait, she just said that. That's not cool.
Yeah, so I mean, it's getting insane. It's definitely, the comedians of yesteryear. I think about this, like, how would Robin Williams navigate today?
I don't know.
R.I.P. Robin Williams. But I'm just thinking Robin Williams, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, all of these comedians that were wickedly funny, and even though politically they probably leaned left, they weren't politically correct. And
no,
they wouldn't have a home.
It's just getting ridiculous, and what gets me too is the double standards. Like, if someone is on their side, they can say heinous, shitty things, and that's okay. Even if it's not true. But then if somebody who they feel is on the opposite side of them says something they don't like, that might not even be as shitty as something they said, they deserve to be canceled immediately because how dare they say that? And that's what we saw with the Gina Carano situation. Yeah. Even Forbes was calling that out. Like, this is getting ridiculous. And that's what it is. They're not even judging on the same, as they're not comparing apples to apples even anymore. No. And it's ridiculous.
It's basically whoever's on the wrong side of Twitter is who's getting canceled.
You don't even have to be. You could just be friends with somebody. And,
it's like
in this case, Sharon Osbourne didn't even do anything wrong, but because she basically said, she doesn't agree with what he said, but, she agrees that he has a right to say it. Yeah. And because her saying that, well, oh my God, she's the devil.
Sorry. You wonder why. You see this on Twitter, and we saw this in comics, a couple of years ago. You say anything, and all of your quote-unquote friends are either going to step away from you, or they're going to turn on you.
And you can say something very innocuous. You don't even know it's something bad.
If it's a wrong thought, or you're, maybe interacting with the wrong person, they will tell you, this person has cooties. You're not allowed to talk to them.
Well, like I'm going to bring up that rewriting Ripley, the Riri. They're putting up stuff. If anybody questions it or shoots back, they are blocked. But then all their followers are blocked too. Yeah. So now it's the place where they put something up, they only got a handful of comments because they already blocked everybody else. So no, all these people don't agree with them. But instead of maybe thinking, well, maybe I'm wrong. No, it's everybody else, and I'm going to preemptively block anybody that follows them or they follow too, just to make sure that I don't have to listen to. I only can listen to what I want to hear and people that agree with me. I'm right. I'm good. everybody else is wrong. Everybody here is telling me I'm right. It must be right because everybody's telling me I'm right.
Until you're not right. And then you can do everything right and get ousted.
Yeah, because you said the wrong thing or somebody else wants to be in charge now.
Yeah, the rules keep changing. And Bill Maher brought that up with the Gina Carano situation, too, when he had that senator go off half-cocked on Carano, calling her a literal Nazi, literal white supremacist. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, he's like, the line keeps moving.
The line keeps moving. So we're going to talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 185,000 subs.
Woo!
Thank you for the support. We do talk a lot about cancel culture because this is honestly the biggest story in Hollywood right now is that you got to watch what you say and who you're friends with or you're going to get blacklisted.
Yes, because the idea that, you can be friends with people that are different than you is a bad one. But then they keep going on how people should be, friends with people that are different than them because that's diversity. But whatever.
Yeah. Now, Sharon Osbourne, who I've always liked, we've been watching the Osbournes.
Want to Believe.
We're
like, that's us in like 30 years, 30 years.
Totally going to be. Even Sharon and Ozzy, Ozzy can't keep things straight.
The dogs. They're like joking that she'd probably try to pet Bigfoot. That's a joke they make about me. So, that's us in like 30 years.
But she was back in the day. I mean, she was a pretty big deal as a manager. I mean, she managed Ozzy Osbourne, but she managed a lot of other heavy metal bands. I think she was a Smashing Pumpkins manager for a while until she got tired of Billy Corgan's shit and she quit, if I recall correctly. But she's been at this a long time, and I would consider the Osbournes probably left leaning, right? But because she's friends with Piers Morgan, who said a wrong thing.
You cannot be friends with anybody in this world that's a little bit different than you or thinks differently than you, according to Twitter and since 2020.
Yeah, right.
But, for years, decades, centuries, you could be friends with people that believe differently than you, and it was all good.
So this is coming from Rolling Stone, which has taken a very woke turn lately. I've noticed in the last, I've been reading...
What publication hasn't, honestly?
Yeah, Rolling Stone used to be pretty badass. Now
the only way you're allowed to make sure that you get to stay in there is if you go the way they want you to. Yeah. Otherwise, you don't get out there like you should.
So Sharon Osbourne says to Bill Maher, I'm angry and I'm hurt. It isn't about being a racist. It's maybe not knowing what is correct and woke for your language that day. Osbourne tells Bill Maher on Real Time.
Right, because it changes every flipping week.
Yeah, so this is her first TV appearance since departing the daytime talk show The Talk. In March, CBS announced that Osbourne decided to leave.
Yeah, I'm sure she decided to leave.
Following a heated on-air conversation about race, as well as accusations of racist comments that led to an internal investigation by the network, asked by Maher how she's doing, she said, I'm angry and I'm hurt.
Well, we still like you.
We
still like you, Sharon.
Cool. I like Sharon Osbourne. I'd hang out with them. Mm-hmm. I would. Maher summarized the situation as this. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry gave their interview with Oprah.
Yes.
Okay, your friend Piers Morgan, he's a commentator in Britain. Mm-hmm. He said he didn't believe things that Meghan Markle said.
Meghan Markle accused, said that there was a lot of stuff going on. There was very racist-y over in the palace and all that stuff. And someone being from Britain, and they're very protective of their royal family. They might get I don't know if I believe that because, they're protective of their royal family. So that's what that was about.
Okay, so then on your show, on The Talk, Sharon Osbourne's on it. You said, he's a good friend of mine. I don't necessarily agree with his opinion, but he is entitled to his opinion. That's all she said.
Which is a basic comment. It happens all the time. I don't necessarily agree with, people that I know all the time, but I think that they have a right to have their opinion, and then we might just agree to disagree on certain things.
So Bill Maher goes, so he was called a racist and lost his job, and you were called a racist and lost your job. Do I have it right? So she said, you got it right. That's exactly how it went. I've been called so many things in my life. I'm so used to being called that. Yeah, she was a manager for several heavy metal bands. Mm-hmm. I mean, could you imagine back the drugs and the booze and I am sure Sharon Osbourne has been called a lot of things over the years. She said, I'm used to being called things, but racist is one I will not take.
That's where I am, Sharon. You're allowed to not like me for whatever reason, but as soon as you start calling me, an istophobe because I don't like a stupid TV show or movie that you like, even though that's your only basis for why you're calling me that because you don't know me, then you could just, sit and spin. So I don't blame her. I don't take that too kindly to that either.
So they have the conversation about the coldness of the royal family. She's entitled to her opinion. Piers is entitled to his opinion, and that's what it was all about. You're entitled to have a disagreement, discuss it in a normal way.
Amen. Thank you.
Until the last year or two. Then Twitter, basically, you have a trial by a kangaroo court called Twitter, and Twitter decides your fate.
And when we're talking like a small, this is like a very vocal, minority of people. When they talk about vocal minority, the extremists on Twitter are truly the vocal minority in this country. Yet somehow they get to dictate everything.
I would say Twitter represents less than 2% of the public. And it could be like them and a whole bunch of sock puppet accounts.
Right, and a lot of people getting pissed about it probably weren't even, like they didn't have a dog in the fight.
They probably don't know who Sharon Osbourne is.
Right. Just because, Meghan Markle said that there was racism going on, which there could have been, we don't know.
I have no idea.
We don't know. But because she said it, they automatically met that's true. And if you disagree with her, it's because you're a bad person. But we don't know. They don't know. None of us were there. It's just more of like a she said kind of thing. We don't know.
So her co-host threw her under the wheels of the bus.
Well, it's Leah Remini. That doesn't surprise me at all. And
Wasn't
Holly
she
Robinson Pete doesn't surprise me.
Wasn't she a Scientologist?
Yeah.
So she left one cult to join another cult.
Right.
Okay.
I never really could stand her anyway, so it's fine by me. I mean,
Sharon says, I never ever said Leah Remini was whatever she said. I don't even use those words. They're not my vocabulary. Adding that the accusations against her are from disgruntled ladies. Maher and Osbourne next railed against cancel culture.
I agree. Cancel culture is stupid.
And Maher says that it judges everyone by their worst moment. And sometimes not even that. Sometimes just something taken out of context.
Right. We're the focus of a whole article. We're part of the focus of a whole article written about why we are alt-right because we don't like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Literally, it comes down to us not liking Disney's sequel trilogy. And because we don't like Disney's sequel trilogy, we are labeled as, they literally labeled us on a graph as alt-right. We are getting labeled on Transparency Tube as alt-right, even though we are not even Republicans or right-leaning. And we have disputed this repeatedly, and one review said that you're alt-right.
One review by Twitter.
I will agree with them. We're anti-woke.
Yeah, we are.
But we are not alt-right, and that's what I'm tired of. It's like this. You can not even by your worst moment. You don't have to even do anything because you don't like the right thing, or you call out the behavior of one person because maybe they're being a shithead, and you're like you're being a shithead, and then suddenly because you're a racist and misogynist or whatever. It's not because they're bad, but maybe they are being bad.
This is all about people feeling morally superior to other people.
Hence the purity test
right.
that she was talking about. You can never pass the purity test.
And it's so weird because I see a lot of behavior on the left now that I saw from the right back in the 80s where everything was like filtered through a lens of moral authority. We are the moral authority, so no, you can't listen to rock and roll.
And we said that was shit then. We're going to say it's shit now.
Yeah, and it is. It is like I said, it doesn't surprise me that Leah Remini is going for this because she was already in a cult, and people who have a tendency to get sucked into cults, a lot of times they'll replace one cult or one ideology with another. I'm going to be honest. I've seen it. The people that they need that like structure and that thought process, and a lot of times it's about feeling morally superior. I am on the right path. I believe the right things. I'm better than that person.
But it changes every week.
Yeah, well, that's what Osbourne said. She said, I'm a fighter. I'm doing just fine. What about the people who are cut from the knees down and they can't afford to get lessons now on what's politically correct and how to talk to people? What happens to them?
People like us stand up for them on here. But that's okay. Twitter will find a way to stop that too.
Yep, it isn't about being a racist. It's about maybe not knowing what is correct and woke for your language that day, because it changes from day to day what's correct and what isn't. What has to happen? The only way this is going to stop is if people put their foot down and say, you know what? We'll give you X, Y, Z thing, but that's it. That's where the line is.
But here's what the kicker is. I don't even understand how this is racism, because all that was, from my understanding was, is that he questioned that he didn't believe what she was saying. And you know what? I don't know. I'm not going to say I do because I don't know. I wasn't there. And it's not about, because she was making claims of racism. He said, I don't believe the claims of racism. And now suddenly everybody's racist because she said it. So it's true. I'm like, so if I say someone's against me and they're treating me in a sexist manner, even if they're not, does it automatically make it true and people should get fired from their jobs if they don't defend me and agree with me just because I said so?
Believe all women unless their last name is Carano. Then you don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's like the sexism. Just because somebody said this doesn't automatically make it true. Just because they're on Oprah, it doesn't automatically make it true. Now, she could be completely telling the truth. I don't know. I'm not saying she's not telling the truth either. All I'm saying is what it sounds like they're basing this on is that he said it wasn't true. And because he said it wasn't true, that he's automatically racist because he said it wasn't true. But what if it turns out it's not true? I mean, it might be true. I don't know. And it could turn out to be completely true too. I don't know. I'm just saying they're basing it all on her saying it with no evidence.
Right, and really the bigger thing here is that's Piers Morgan. That's his issue, whatever. But because Sharon Osbourne is friends with Piers Morgan, did not throw Piers Morgan under the bus like she was supposed to on cue.
And then she's supposed to back over him again for good measure.
Right. Then she herself got fired too. And we see this time and time and time again. It's like, I call it being a Nazi by proxy. Basically they find somebody.
You're not even a Nazi in any of these ways. But,
No, I'm just saying they find somebody, they're going to call them a quote unquote Nazi. But if you even associate with that person, you're the proxy Nazi.
Right. Even if, you know, or you might just be a friend of a friend, but because that person followed them and you follow that person, you automatically are guilty too.
You followed this person on Twitter 10 years ago before they started going batshit crazy.
And it's never unfollowed them because you don't see their posts anyway.
You don't see their posts anyway, but because you follow them, oh, you better. And we saw it firsthand in comics. As soon as we started speaking out.
All he said was, hey, those Marvel numbers are looking kind of bad. I'm a little concerned because if Marvel goes under, it could impact the entire, comic ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's all you said.
Yeah. And
that's all we said.
And that's all it took. And I noticed a lot of people I literally had worked with.
Got them jobs,
started unfollowing me on Twitter.
You're like, what?
It's like, I didn't say.
We didn't even know about Comicsgate.
No, we had no. Yeah, they were like, "Oh my God, you're Comicsgate." It's like we didn't even know what Comicsgate was. Had no idea this was even going down. But then the flip side, then people try to come to me with concerns. I'm like, I'm not gonna bend the knee for the bunch of stupid people on Twitter. I don't give a shit. My opinions have not changed in years.
No, we didn't change. We didn't move.
No, everything we're saying now is stuff that we used to literally get paid to come to conventions and tell people 8 or 10 years ago. You know, and it's like, we're not changing and honestly, Sharon Osbourne, she's ridiculously rich. She doesn't even need to work. She's just doing it because she wanted to. You know,
and that's got to be really hurtful. These people are supposed to be your friends, you know, are they're making these comments and you get fired from a show just because you didn't, run over your friend. All you said was, I don't really know. He's entitled to his opinion. She's entitled to hers.
Yeah.
Which is a very, fair and balanced statement. I mean, do I think that people at the palace said, well, what color is he going to come out? Yeah, they probably did.
Probably.
I mean, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. And but can I understand why somebody that's British might be very defensive about, comments made? Yes, I can get why they'd be defensive about it. I see both sides of it. And I thought she was very fair. She's like, he's my friend. I don't agree with him. But he's allowed to say it, and she's allowed to say what she wants to say, and and it is what it is. You're fired.
Yeah,
you're reasonable and rational. How very dare you?
That's the discussion we're having. Is basically it is becoming a witch hunt, and really the people leading the charge are the ones a lot of times that have the most skeletons in their own closet.
Here's the kicker: there's way more of us than there are of them. Yeah. Just turn the tables.
People are afraid.
Start calling them racist. Start calling them alt-right. Because by their definition of what these are supposed to be, they're acting like it more than other people. So let's get it back to them. I mean,
this is,
they're not going to like it when you start saying, well, you're a misogynist, aren't you? You're a racist, aren't you? They're not going to like that.
God, I honestly think the pandemic
made it worse.
Made it 100 times worse.
I
think if everybody wasn't in lockdown and miserable and agitated all the time and we didn't have political unrest and all this other stuff going on, that we would not be seeing cancellations because people would have better things to do, like work a job, go visit relatives, go play outside, go to the restaurant, go to a movie, but we can't do those things.
Talk to people so not everybody is, automatically a racist, istophobe because, because then you're talking them face to face and you get to see that maybe, because it's really hard to tell on internet sometimes.
Yeah, so what's going on is, people are eating each other live on Twitter.
Because they have nothing else to do.
They have nothing else to do.
Go get a hobby.
Get a hobby.
Get out of your house, go for a walk, get a pet. Take care of that pet. Don't get a pet unless you're going to take care of the pet.
Don't treat the pet like you're treating your fellow human beings.
Right. Just, look, some people are assholes. I'm not going to say there aren't. There are people that are extremist assholes, but they're on both sides. And I'm so tired. I think the majority of people are in the middle thinking, y'all crazy. That's what we're at. We're like, y'all are crazy. And, and I don't know, but hey, Sharon, you know what? We hear you. We agree with you. It's getting out of hand. We still like you. It's all good.
Yeah, I hope they didn't cancel the Osbournes.
They probably did. But I would recommend that you uncancel it immediately.
Yeah, right?
If you did. Because if you didn't, then disregard anything I just said.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
That's right.